everyone, welcome back to another video. This is your girl Sona from Jamaica, and today we're going on a tour, another exploration, another great house. Today we'll be visiting the Cinnamon Hill Great House. Was once the home of the American singer Johhny Cash. Please stay tuned while I take you on this tour. It will be very interesting, and I'm excited to do that house tour. So guys, in order to reach the Cinnamon Hill Great House, you will have to use the same drive way to the Rose Hall Great House. Remember when I was at a certain point heading to the Rose Hall Great House, I mentioned having to take the left. There were two roads ahead, one to the right and one to the left. Well, to get to the Cinnamon Hill Great House, you'll have to take the road leading to the right. So guys, we are on our way to the Cinnamon Hill Great House, and it is above the Rose Hall Great House. The Cinnamon Hill Golf Course is basically wrapped around it, so you can stay on the peak of the hill and see the Cinnamon Hill Golf Course. So guys, we are now at the gate and we are awaiting the security guard to come and let us in so that we can have access to the property. So finally guys, we're driving through, and based on what I have been told before is that it is a good way up, and there are certain parts of the road that is going to be bumpy, some parts unpaved, so I'm not going to capture too much of that because I don't really want to bore you in this video. So the road is going to get a little bumpy and I may have a little issue with keeping my camera steady, but if you do not wish to drive up, you can always get a cart to drive up to the property, because based on how the golf course is set up, they have the road paved straight up to the Great House, so you can use one of those carts that they use on the golf course if you so desire, if you don't want to drive up. This is what the main entrance looks like when you enter the property. Lovely palm trees and flowers. So get ready as we go into some history and a few details about the American legendary country music singer Johhny Cash. Stay tuned.
So I must say to you both, welcome to the Cinnamon Hill Great House. So this is the home of Johhny Cash for over 40 years. You guys know that?
First time.
First time, okay. So this is his home for over 40 years. So this was actually supposed to be Johhny Cash winter home or vacation home. It became more than a vacation home. So whenever it's winter back home, Johhny Cash would be here. So this building that you're actually looking at here, back in the days, was a servant's quarter, and so when Johhny Cash came here, he decided to use it as his helper's quarter. Okay. So it is used as a helper's quarter, the laundry room and the sewing room. Okay. Alright, so I must let you know that this house here was first started in 1750 and was totally completed in 1750. and it was built by the Barretts from Wimpole Street in England. And so they settled a sugarcane plantation, which was quite profitable.
Okay.
But not until the 1900, when yellow fever took over, and the whole Barrett's family were wiped out from the yellow fever virus. So if you happen to be playing golf on the Cinnamon Hill golf course, or to be on the golf course where they have the caddy shed just across from the great house, they over to the other side.
Okay.
Right, there's a number of tombs there that belong to the Barrett's family that
Okay.
were wiped out from yellow fever. Alright, so in that time and era, they did not know what causes yellow fever virus. So you only see people dying from it. So at one time, they were forced by the British government even to move from this house here because they think the whole place was contagious. Right. So it was mosquito that was causing it, and they believe it was water and other stuff that was causing it. They did not know the cause of it. Right. So this house that we're looking at was actually built in 3 phases. So one, you have phase 1 that was built first, and the other phase here, and then the last part was built later on.
Okay.
Right. So here we have the grounds that is open for weddings and parties and different functions are oftentimes held on the grounds.
When they have jazz and blues, is it up here?
No, not here. On
Okay.
the golf course.
On the golf course. Okay. Because I always hear your name, Cinnamon Hill.
Yeah. So these tiles that you're working on, these are Spanish tiles from the 1900s.
Okay.
And so when Johnny Cash came here, the tiles were all crooked and so on. So what he did, just to make sure he put them back together just the way they used to be.
Okay.
Alright, and so most of the furniture and woodwork that you'll be seeing today, they are 17th, 18th, and 19th century pieces.
Really?
So they're original from that time. So there's just a few pieces that was bought by Johnny just for his own convenience.
Okay.
Alright, so you notice how this veranda is built. This veranda goes right around.
Okay.
Alright, we also have another one around there.
Okay.
It was for ventilation, so air can flow freely on the inside, whichever room you're at.
Okay.
It was also for plantation owners to be able to see what was happening around on the plantation.
Okay.
So they would design it this way.
They can look from any angle.
Right, and so Johnny Cash was quite comfortable with the way this place here was set up.
Okay.
So actually what happened is that Johnny Cash and the Rollins, they were close friends.
Okay.
That's Mr. Rollins that owned the Rose Hall Great House. They're close friends. And so what happened is that he had mentioned to Mr. Rollins, when he come to Jamaica, if he see a nice place here, to let him know because he want to get a nice place here in Jamaica.
Okay.
And so Mr. Rollins introduced Johnny Cash to this place, and so when he came here, he fell in love with the place, and he decided that he would purchase it from his friend. Now they're friends. We don't know how much they paid for it. It could be all a little chump change or free or whatever.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So we don't know.
Okay.
I was just about to ask.
We don't know. So actually what happened is that when Johnny Cash died in September of 2003, the Rollins decided to repurchase it back from the family, just to keep the history of this place.
Okay.
Because the children and other family members, they weren't interested in the place.
Okay.
Right. So June, that was Johnny's wife, she passed away in May of 2003. September of 2003, Johnny Cash passed away. It's believed that Johnny Cash had died from a broken heart. His wife had a heart condition. She also had diabetes, and so she did not survive. She took sick here, then went back and didn't survive.
Okay.
That's sad.
Yeah. Alright, so local craft vendors like craft items and stuff with the simple things. These are some of the stuff that Johnny Cash liked. You'd have purchased these little stuff from the local craft vendors, which is coconut, And they can you either use for feeding the birds or
Yeah.
put in arcade.
Yeah.
All right, this is his coffee table here. All right, and back in the days it was like a bellow. See?
What
That's
inspired them to build this?
no man. This is something that was built from way back in the days. You know that they used to put out the fire. They have to use. It's a puff. See that? I won't touch it because lizard and stuff may be in it.
Oh.
And it fall off, you know. Right. So it's like when you lift it, it's the leather thing.
Okay.
And when you lift it, it makes a puff like that and put all the
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
So at the same time, you may be wondering why is this place called here the Cinnamon Hill Greathouse? Because at that time there was a lot of cinnamon trees that was being grown on property. Cinnamon and pimento was the main spice. But what happened is that because Annie Palmer, the witch from the Greathouse, had have come close by here to practice her voodoo, they also believe that this house is haunted. So these people cutting down these cinnamon tree, not knowing exactly what they were, because cinnamon tree does not grow very big. They're looking like shrubs like these.
Okay.
So they cut them down not knowing exactly what they were. So today we don't have a lot of cinnamon that is being grown on the property. We have about 3 of them that is up at the final hole of the golf course, and there's one on the Cinnamon Hill property at a private residence.
Okay.
That's all we have. But we have a lot of pimentos that are on the property, and pimentos, most of the damage was done by birds.
Okay.
So over here we have the copper. So several of these would be on the property. Alright, right around the right. So that's what they boil the sugar cane in. Alright, so you know after boiling the sugar cane they get the molasses.
Yeah,
And boil it all the way and dry the sugar, then they get the sugar from it. And you know the preserving they get liquid, the rum and vinegar, all different sort of stuff from it, the sugar cane. And then you know the other part of it, the trash, they sometimes use it for craft items like doing chairs and stuff
Yeah,
like
that would be the bagger.
Baggers and
Yeah.
also for chairs,
For
weaving the chair
For
there.
Wicca.
Wicca and stuff,
Okay,
right.
Okay.
So this is Wicca?
Yeah man, this is Wicca.
This is Wicca.
Yeah man, but it's Wicca like they paint and add something else in the
Yes.
Wicca to give it that strength.
Wow. It looks durable.
Right. And so this room that we're about to go in is known as the hurricane room. And it was actually given that name by Johhny because at one particular time he was coming to Jamaica. And so what happened is that while he was coming here, there was a hurricane that about to come. So he decided that he's going to put a bathroom on the house and he's going to put the bathroom with a hip. So if he put the bathroom with a hip, at least it will cut the wind speed if the hurricane should come.
Okay.
So this is a bathroom here that he had came up with the concept.
Oh.
It was not a bathroom for you to think right. It was something for you to laugh. So when you have a look at it, you'll have a good laugh.
Okay.
So we're going to the hurricane room here.
Okay.
Hurricane room here, this is also the study room. And so when June took sick, this was the room that we brought her in. Alright, so you can look at the bathroom right here. Wow. Alright, so most of the cushions that you see here was done by June. So during her spare time, these are some of the stuff that she would have done. Making cushions and making different kind of stuff that are needed in the house.
Okay.
Alright, so back in the days, it wasn't customary for husbands and wives to sleep together, or they have a his and her bed. So June, that's the wife of Johhny, believed that being that is a his and her bed, there should not be two of the same beds in the room.
Okay.
The bed should be
I
different.
wonder why.
Huh? Well, we like matching beds or whatever, but she said, being that is a his and her, you can't have two of the same. It must
Okay.
be different.
Okay.
Alright, come this way. And I there's something else with them guys out here. So check out the room. So this is where Johhny Cash and June would entertain famous musician, politician, movie star. Would be entertained inside this room here. So most of the songs and music that you hear was recorded right here in this joint room. Right? And so I don't know if you've ever heard the song Word Man. So there's a song Word Man. So what happened is that Johhny Cash was walking on the beach in Falmouth. And so he happened to see one of his friends that they would have exchanged words with. And he said, hey, Mr. Cash, how are you doing? He said, I'm here today, you know, enjoying the beach. He said, what's up with you? He said, I'm here, a very word man. I've lost my job. You know, I have no money. I have my children and my wife to take care of, and I don't know where to turn. So they were there talking and talking. And while they were there talking and talking, what happened is that Johhny Cash had some cash on him that he wanted to support the local craft vendors along the road. And he decided to give the man the cash that he had. So when he was coming from the beach now, and the vendor was calling to him, hey, Mr. Cash, how are you not stopping today? And he says, I ain't get no money today. And so he came home, felt real guilty because he didn't have any money to support the local vendors. And so he was thinking about himself helping a word man who had no money to feed and then could not be able to help the other vendors that were there that probably needed some money as well to go and support their family. So he came and wrote the song Word Man. And he sees something, he would purchase carvings from this person. He'd go down the road again, and while driving and he sees something else, or on his Gulf Quart and he sees something else, he stop again and support. It's not really that he needed it, but he believed that he should support most of these vendors and people around the area, so at least they can survive and have food. So you may wonder what a man of this statue, where does all his money go? All his money went to the poor and helping people over there. So that's where he left the shoes. Right, so this is their main dining room, and so you can never tell how many guests was going to be invited over, because this table can either be extended into a large table, as you can see here, or it can get into a smaller table. And so you know that June was born on the 26th of June, so that's how she got her name. 23rd of June, that's how she got her name, and Johhny was born on the 26th of February. And so there was a set of plate that was given to her on her birthday, so that she decided that she was going to use them and invite 12 guests over. Have the guests invited over, and she had all the plates turned over. And she said, nobody turn up your plate until I say so, until the food is being presented. So when the food is being presented, and she said, okay, it's time to turn up your plate. And they look in their plate, it was marked on the plate June. And they look at each other, and they came out in a chorus because they were in the month of June. And so that's why they started laughing, they realized it was a birthday dinner. So these, you see a lot of these paintings from the same person. After these were given to Johhny, after he passed away, he had paid for them and did not collect them. The runs, they weren't sure where they were supposed to go, if they were supposed to go in his house in Nashville, Tennessee, or they belong here. He had purchased them for somebody. So what they did when they got them, they just placed them inside this room here. So this is like a little breakfast area that I'm at breakfast when no one is really in the house. And the cups with the June is marked right here. I'm not sure where the plates are. Right. And so actually this house does not have a dungeon. It only have a storage area. Right. So they says that the master, the bards, were nice people with slaves. So this house had survived the 1831 to 1838 slave uprising because the master was always kind to the slaves. Right, so at one point in time, we had this chair that was actually over towards this side, and they were able to communicate with the ghosts inside here. So you had the ghost brothers that were here. And the question was being posed to Johhny. Johhny, what do you think about this house here? Do you think that this house is haunted? Johhny Cash said, oh yes, this house is haunted because oftentimes I'm sitting down, I hear footsteps, I see things moving around, and so on. So I see that these ghosts want me to leave out of this house. You know what I do? I just ignore them. So that was his word. Father of Elizabeth Barrett Browning.
Built by Moulton Barrett?
Yeah.
Okay.
Elizabeth Barrett Browning.
Okay.
A great poet, his father. Right. So if you look above here, we have this guy here. You know what this is? What does it look like?
Look like a crocodile skin or something.
Yeah, crocodile. Yeah. So this crocodile here was the one that was featured in the James Bond movie with Roger Moore.
Oh, okay.
And so this guy here, Ras Natango, he was telling Johhny what happened to him, that while they were filming the movie, the crocodile bit a piece of his finger.
Okay.
And one of these fine days, he's going to shoot the crocodile.
Oh.
So Johnny Cash turned to him and said to him, Ross, you know, I think I'll do a better job than you. So when you're ready to shoot that crocodile, just let me know, I'll do the job for you. And there's Johnny with the gun. So he shoot the crocodile, and after they shoot it, they dried it, give it to Johnny Cash, and he placed it up there. And it was also said that the meat was being cooked inside this house here. And the people that were here, friends and visitors, all partake in the meat.
Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Ah.
Alright, so we step inside here. There would have been their little breakfast room here where June and John would dine. None other guests would be over. And so what happened is that Mrs. Rawlings' boy was Johnny Cash godsons. And so what Johnny would do after breakfast, he likes to play games. Johnny Cash's favorite game was the bingo game. So while they're here having breakfast, Johnny Cash would be there shouting out bingo. So when the boys realized, they realized that Johnny was cheating on them.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
And so during that time, sometimes the china dishes got broken. And while they got broken, the children felt so bad about it. And then June would say, don't worry. And June and the children would have sit, and they would have made plaques and trays and different stuff with the broken china dishes. You ever see that before?
Yes.
Like the broken dishes, they just make a plaque and different kind of stuff with them.
Okay.
So that's what so that plaque and tray and everything is somewhere around, but because the house is so crowded with lots of stuff, they just put them out.
Put them away.
Yeah.
That have to be pool on?
Huh?
Is that pool on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So this here was part of the hallway here.
Okay.
And so there was no kitchen here originally.
Okay.
And so when they came here back in the 70s, they had put in a kitchen there. And so it's nothing fancy, it's just kitchen of the 70s.
Okay.
So just as how they leave it, it still remains. They have a gas stove and electric stove. When there's no gas, they use electric. When there's no electricity around the side, then you always have gas.
Okay. I had a long time afraid that I would work.
Long time fridge, man.
Still working. You're making
Still
noise.
working.
I wonder if it's consuming a lot of energy. Maybe
It
not.
doesn't matter, you know, what they've left.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's what they left, so the Rollins want to keep it that way.
Okay.
And they don't want to really change anything.
Change anything.
Right, so this room now that we're going to is Ruth and Billy Graham's room. So that was Johnny's best friend.
Okay.
So at the same time, he was the one who talked him out of jokes, talked him out of certain things, and they would have encouraged him in certain things. So eventually became good friends.
Okay.
So this was their room. So whenever they come, that's their special room. Nobody stays in this room here. Alright, so this area here back in the days was like a storage area.
Okay.
And so when Johnny came here, he decided to make this as a pantry and a simple bathroom.
Okay.
And it was here.
This place is huge though.
So this is Ruth and Billy Graham's room. This may be their hat. And so you'll notice a lot of pineapple furniture in the house. Pineapple back in the days was said to be good luck or welcoming. So just imagine those days, everybody living back then or who was around would want a piece of pineapple furniture in their house.
Okay.
Just for the good luck and the
You go
welcoming.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Love this mat.
Yeah, they're
nice.
still the boat in there. Remember how they used to make them? Used
Yeah,
to
man,
sell
you
them,
find the
make them.
craft people them.
Few people, they hardly make them, maybe in like Kochi or somewhere. They
Yes,
so they
maybe,
still make
but
them.
And
you don't
those
really
are
see
those
no-
how the
such.
hats cowboys. Um,
You take the pineapple bed, to the bed, with the pineapples, the pineapple flower, the pineapple.
Really nice.
oh, I like the furniture.
Come this side.
They have people come everything and just one clean up onto everything. Up to
Okay,
the-
clean, but you have people are here who clean, come in and clean, but it's because it's not a busy house.
Yeah.
So this is June's sister's room, Helen and Anita. So this is where they stay. This room is also used as a guest room.
Okay.
Alright, so these you see that was done by June. This stuff, she was very creative.
Okay.
And so Johhny believed that the rooms that does not have a bathroom in it should have a wash basin, because when you wake up in the morning, you should be able to just freshen up yourself as you wake up.
Okay.
You notice a wash sink.
Yeah,
over
that
there.
was simple.
Yeah. Alright, you see how started there now? Watch it. Yeah.
These three are you.
Oh, the staircase.
Alright, so we're going to June and Johnny's room.
Yeah.
So this is June and Johnny's room, and then this was considered back in the days as a master bedroom.
Mhm.
But when Johhny and June came here, there was no bathroom, so they have decided, go on man, decided to put a bathroom right in the center of the room there.
This is a big house.
And just as she left her slippers and stuff there, her hats, this is the way they left it, so they're just trying to keep it the same way. The only person who live in here is Lizzie Bear.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the only one that maybe somewhere around. So just be careful he doesn't poo on you. You hear?
Oh lordy.
I'm just troubling.
Yep.
A lizard net anymore.
Yeah, I feel
So
like
the only thing the lizard mess up the place, no matter how easily and clean it, try to clean it.
So you see him sometime?
Yeah, sometimes you see them, yeah.
Yeah, because they always in this type of house.
Yeah. And especially nobody lives here,
Yeah.
then take over.
Them take over.
Right.
Them take over.
Alright. So this room here is John Carter's room. So that was June and Johnny's son.
That is beautiful.
Right. So at the same time, there was no space to put in walk-in closets. So June and Johhny was quite comfortable using the armoires. So you not notice a lot of armoires that are in the house. So imagine at the time, these are some of the things that June would have done. She would have used the tablecloth to make window curtains. So when you come here, all the windows will be all white window curtains. Made from the lace tablecloth. You remember the style of
Yeah, then lace. Yeah.
yeah, they kind of pretty tablecloth in the back.
Hey.
This is beautiful.
Nice.
Right. And so this was like a family sitting area, and Johhny Cash have minimized this and put in bathrooms there because he believed if his son was using a bathroom, then and they have guests here, they should be able to have a bathroom to use.
Okay.
Right. So back in the days, you know, this bit was not here.
Okay. Okay.
So this over here would be a guest room here. Alright, so this is that outdoor kitchen here, and it was built by Johhny. So this part, everything else was the original, but this part was not there.
Okay.
It was built by Johhny because we believe if they were having like a function or a little event outside,
Yes.
they should be able to have somewhere to cook instead of back and forth in the house.
Fair enough.
Right. And this here was like a basement of the house.
Okay.
Alright, so it was used as a storage area. So as I told you, there's no dungeon in this house.
Okay. Okay.
So it would be nice if everybody was nice to the slaves just as how these
Yes.
people were. And
Yes.
so this here back in the days was a bachelor quarter.
Okay.
And so when Johhny Cash came here, decided that he'd use it as the groundsmen, the men who work on the
Yeah,
farm,
underground.
unable to go home in the evening, they cannot be stay here.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so Johhny Cash was so nice.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a people person, you
Okay.
know,
Okay.
man in black. So he said he wear blacks because the black represents human being.
Okay.
The black around and the black community
Okay.
who are oftentimes treated real bad.
Okay. Mhm. Okay.
Wow, the trees.
Great.
Fresh air, right?
So this school that you see here, it was actually John's idea in 2001. He said to Johhny wanted it a good idea for us to put a pool. But this pool was not completed in until about September of 2002.
Okay.
And just after this pool was completed, it was shortly after, in October going on to November,
Yes.
that's when June took sick.
Oh.
And then they did
Also, it's not different than night. What you step up?
Mm-hmm.
And what you put on that?
Have a lot of trees around.
Yeah,
Pine trees.
Hey, that's why you have a door here.
yeah, that's the door that when you were in the dining room,
Yes.
the door, yeah.
Okay. Okay, nice to enter from here. Yeah. And this side with tables and stuff.
So this is what is known as a sundial.
Okay.
What's the name?
A sundial.
Sundial.
Yeah, to tell the time. That's what they use. So this would be in the sun and it would actually tell the time. This is something built from way back then. And the cannon there.